guys? Today we're going to be talking about the Chevy Silverado 1500 engine options. This also goes hand in hand with the GMC Sierra as they are essentially the same exact truck. Um, so I am going to give you my opinion. I've driven all these engines. I'm going to give you my opinion on all the engines, the reliability, the the smoothness of the engine, and what engine I would buy. So I've actually owned three of these engines. I owned the 3 point or the 5.3, the 6.2, and the 3.0. Now, I've driven the Turbo Max multiple times. Very impressive engine for an inline four. With that being said, the only complaint I have about there's multiple complaints I have about the engine, but there's a big one. So the big one is it is configured with an 8-speed automatic transmission, which is notorious for having reliability issues. They did update it in 2021, I believe, and they fixed a lot of the problems. But if you are going to get this engine, make sure it's a 2022 or higher. Just look into it. Honestly, just look into it. Other problem I have with this engine is it's a four-cylinder. Not that it performs bad, because it doesn't, but I hate the noise of it. It just sounds weird. It sounds, I don't know. It's like, have you ever driven a Honda CRV? Sounds like that engine in a truck. Like it just doesn't sit right with me for some reason, and I just can't get over it. And it's probably the whole reason I would never buy one. But it's a very impressive engine. I would not tow 9,500 pounds in this engine. If you're going anything above 10,000 pounds, just get a heavy duty truck. Um, I'd probably limit yourself to 8,000 pounds. I'm sure it'll be just fine, but that's a lot of stress to put on an inline four. It's a very smooth powertrain. I will give it that. And it's very torquey off the line. Now, the 5.3 Tech is probably the third best engine option you can get. And I believe it's only like a $2,000 upgrade from the 2.7 to the 5.3. So, yes, if you can, go for the 5.3. You won't regret it. The MPG are very similar, as you can see. It's probably 18 to 22. You could probably get 23 out of this. I've gotten 23 out of this. I've also got 23 out of this, and you'll probably get like 15 in the city with the 5.3. With that being said, they both feel very similar. The Turbo Max has more torque off the line. The 5.3 has more passing power, and if you drive on the highway a lot, go go 5.3 for sure. Uh, Again, I'm not towing anywhere near that with this engine. Not that it can't, but it's pretty much the same. Like go if you're going anything near 10,000 pounds, just go heavy duty. Anyways, this is a very smooth powertrain as well. Very reliable powertrain. There has been issues with lifters. There's DFM and there's AFM. DFM is dynamic fuel management. It was introduced in 2014 to 2028 or 2018. And then active fuel management was introduced in 2019 to 2025. And active fuel management has way more problems than dynamic fuel management does, just because it has more collapsible lifters in the engine. And this goes for the 6.2 as well. With that being said, I know you can go on a Facebook forum and see all these complaints, but it you gotta know how the internet works. If you have something to complain about, you're gonna post it. If you don't have anything to complain about, you're not gonna post it. So I would say about 1%, probably less than 1% of these engines actually face lifter problems. It's really just luck of the draw for both of these engines when it comes to that problem. And also, just to mention, the Turbo Max does have active fuel management as well. It runs off like two cylinders at some points, but just because there's less cylinders, there's less problems with collapsible lifters. The 6.2, yeah, we're gonna go 6.2, probably is the second best engine option. I have this engine right now. I actually traded my Duramax 3.0 turbo diesel in for the 6.2. Now, the 6.2 is going to be your most fun powertrain by far. You can tow up to 13,000 pounds in these now. This must be from like 2022 or something like that. Uh, but anyways, the horsepower there, the torque is there, the passing power on the highway is there. The fuel economy, it's very similar to the 5.3, to be honest with you. Now, you are recommended to run 93 octane. You can run 87. If you do consistently run 93, it's going to be your most expensive costing engine. If you want to run 87, it's probably going to be very similar to the Duramax. With that being said, if you're spending that much money on this engine, I'm assuming you can pay for 93. So just pay for 93. This has lifter problems, like I said, probably 1%. Uh, Honestly, the whole reason I traded in my Duramax was just for the V8 rumble and the passing power on the highway. Honestly, that's the only thing the 6.2 has over the Duramax. I still think the 3.0 Duramax is the best engine, and that is coming. That's a lot coming from a guy who traded in his 3.0 for a 6.2. Not saying that I would pick the Duramax over the 6.2. I'm just a V8 guy. But if you are driving a lot, Duramax all the way. You'll get the best fuel economy. The torque is there. By the way, this is the LM2 Duramax. They make a LZO Duramax where it's, I believe, 310 horsepower and 495 pound-feet of torque. So this needs to be updated as well. I'm pretty sure it still tows around the same as this one does. I've driven both. The only complaint I have with this engine is the passing power on the highway. From like 60 to 80, it it's so slow. Like you really need to step on it to pass someone going 60 and a 70. And it's kind of a shame just because this is the best engine if you do drive a lot on the interstate. But it is what it is something to look at. It's something to get a feel of because I don't know. It just it struggles. It struggles getting up to speed. It struggles with passing, but everything else on it is fantastic. The fuel economy, I had the AT4, so I had the 2-inch lift. I was getting 25, 26 on the highway, and I was getting 16, 17 in the city, which isn't great, but it's not bad. So just to recap, number four, 2.7, number three, 5.3, number two, 6.2, number one, 3.0 turbo diesel. I mean, it all depends on what you do as well. So if you just want an entry level truck, the turbocharged high output 2.7 liter is going to be just fine. If you're going to be towing here and there, if you just want a truck, 2.7 is going to be fine. Now, the 5.3, mostly if you just want the V8 Rumble, if you want to put an exhaust system, if you want to have a little bit of fun, get the 5.3. It's like a $2,000 difference from the 2.7. Now, the jump between these two engines and these two engines is massive because not only are you paying for the engine, but you're also going to have to jump a trim or two to get to it. I believe the I believe the elevation is, it might be the ST. It might be the SLE that you can get the 3.0 Duramax, but you can't get the 6.2. Either way, you're going to be jumping a lot of money just to get to these. So I recommend the 5.3. 3.0, and 6.2. If you have any questions, I can answer them in the comments. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.